in a cell? What's it like when you tryna get mail? What's it like when you tryna make bail? When you're getting no help and you're living in hell? Yeah. Your mind's on a loop, your stomach's on pause. Dreams of a key, but you're stuck with the bars. A prayer, a scream, a fight with the walls. Time crawls, time stalls, the system don't call. Can you hear me now? Can you feel the sound? This is the weight that pulls me down. This is hard time, real talk radio. This is hard time, real talk radio. This is hard time, real talk radio. Life can be a nightmare, I don't wanna say it though. This is hard time, real talk radio. This is hard time, real talk radio. This is hard time, real talk radio. The journey isn't ending just because they say the case is closed.
Another episode of Hard Time Real Talk. This is episode 8. Episodes 1 through 7 have gone great so far. I'd like to thank everybody for doing what they're doing, engaging, supporting. I have so many supporters, and I can't say enough about that. This episode 8, I have a great guest, my cousin Michael Cain. He's experiencing some things right now. He has terminal cancer and a lot of things that I'm not going to get into. I'll let him talk about, and we'll go back and forth during this episode and during this interview. That means a lot to me, to be able to bring my cousin on. And I'm going to let him get into his background and a little bit of what's going on with him. Mike?
Hey, John, good to be here with you. I was just thinking number 8. That was my son's number. And of course, we're going to talk a little bit about my son. We're going to talk about trauma, but just to talk a little bit about who I am. You know, Mike Smokey Kane, born and raised, still living in Charlestown, behind the Warren Tavern. That's where we're doing the interview today.
Nice little spot.
Yeah. David Pasternak just moved in downstairs, right outside my window.
I seen the spot you were talking about.
Yeah, nice setup, big screen TV. You know, big grill back there and everything. But so yeah, you know, town DJ with my brother Kevin, over 25, close to 30 years. Recovery coach at the Gavin Foundation, and as John said, been out of work for the past 12 weeks or so. You know, I got the word that, you know, they're doing blood tests to determine the extent of my cancer, and they couldn't find it in the blood work. You know, they did a scan, and the scan determined that it's everywhere. You know, lungs, liver.
Metastatic.
Yeah, advanced metastatic.
Yeah, metastatic.
Yeah. So, yeah, I go in actually Tuesday. I'm in the midst of chemo. I do round 5 next week, but this week I have to get a scan to determine if the chemo's working. And, you know, given the state of how aggressive this cancer's been, I can't imagine it is working. And I just, from the neck up, I'm good. You know, from the neck down, it's been tough. You know, tough to get around. But anyways, you know, John, I don't know if you really had a format or anything. I think, you know, what we could talk about, and I was thinking about it this week in light of the mass that we missed, was, you know, some of the family trauma that we've experienced. I think that you did want to talk about Michael, losing Michael, but did you want to begin with anything?
No, I just figured you'd get into maybe first, maybe growing up in Charlestown, how you adapted. My father was the original Smokey.
Yeah, talking about that.
You obviously, you drank, you drugged, you lost, you went to prison, just like everybody else. But not everybody else goes to prison and experiences the downfalls that some of us from Charlestown experience. But yes, I would definitely like to get into the family trauma and some of that. So yeah, we can talk about. So we just had a thing with our aunt, my cousin Michael, who had alcoholism, and he was in denial for a long time. But I grew up. He was 1 year younger than me, but Michael always looked up to me and always was in my shadow and wanted to follow me around and be around me. And like in hindsight, looking back, I wish, I treated him better. But the older I got, I kind of, we became closer, more like brothers. You know what I mean? When I was a kid, I wanted to hang with my friends. And, Janice always brought Michael by, and then, I always had to stay over. And I would get mad at my mother and stuff like that. And because I wanted to go out with my own friends and this and that. And I always felt like I was kind of like being held back. But when you're a young kid, you don't really realize that the family's always the people that are going to be there for you. You know what I mean? When you're a young kid, you want to go out and hang out with your own friends. And every time I got out, like, my cousin would always be there, and be there to pick me up, be there to take me to the gym, and he would always be there. And obviously, in hindsight, I feel bad about a lot of things, and we weren't talking up until he passed, and obviously that's another thing that I feel shitty about. But he had an accident. You can tell. I'll pass. I'll pass it to you, and you can tell the story maybe of what happened.
So, the reason why John and I were talking to our Aunt Janice this week, because it was the 3-year anniversary of Mike's death. Mike was in search of booze, one night.
Which was a complete shock. You can expect an opiate addict more to get that call. You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, it's crazy now that you think about it. But, got him into treatment the night before, and I don't really feel as though I'm talking out of school, because Janice and I, did have a discussion about it, and she was on board with, if we can retouch anybody like the way you have been with.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is what it is.
Right, it happened, But, again, we set up treatment. He goes, finds out he can't have his phone in there.
It was his first time really being in treatment.
Yeah. So, but ends up in MGH, calling everybody to come get him. No one would. They just hoped he would have stayed. And he actually made it. He actually moved, I think, or took a cab. Took the cab is what he did. And he beat the cab driver, got his truck, got the truck to Charlestown, was able to cuff a 6-pack off of somebody because he needed the booze. He was detoxing and everything. And he gets a 6-pack, and on his way back to Wilmington, back to
Route 93.
Yeah, 93.
That corner, right
this way.
That's a corner, right around Reading.
Yeah.
Exit 37, exit 36, I think.
Yeah, somewhere in there, but ran out of gas in the slow lane, the first lane, not the breakdown lane or anything, and a truck came and creamed him. Killed him on the spot. And and I think about that. I think about the trauma in our family. I think about even, this is Hard Time Real Talk. You told me to talk about the time I've done. I spent a little over 17 years on the installment plan. I got my big nut of time on a race case. And as a matter of fact, I still have a permanent injunction not to interfere, harass, coerce, intimidate, or threaten anybody because of their color, creed, sexual identity, or origin. It was a big, high-profile racial case. And
I mean, and it's crazy. It's a coincidence. My first time doing time was in DYS for civil rights. Civil rights violation as well, which had nothing to do with race. It just had to do with the time and the people that were involved. And that's just what they did.
Yeah, exactly. And what's crazy is I remember being at your father's house watching the news, and before they even arrest me, they come down, they're interviewing. And I got this Townie's hooded sweatshirt on. Teeth were missing from a fight or something. My head was split open. I'm like, if this had happened in Roxbury, Dorchester, Mattapan, you wouldn't have heard anything about it. But because it happened in Charlestown. I'm at your father's house, and lo and behold, I'm in the old Charles Street. And a note gets slid under my door, DIF, with your mother's telephone number on it. At 7 o'clock in the morning.
January of '86.
A townie that slid it under as he was doing the count. What was I? The annex. The old Charles Street jail. And I was up, and I heard that slide, like the mail slide, like everybody knows that, that sound.
That's a get off your butt.
So it's just a DIF. I said, what is this? And it didn't make sense of, you know, what DIF stood for, and it was death and family.
Mhm.
And he said something happened, you know, if you want to put on the news or something. Lo and behold, I put on like the 7:25, you know, news clips, just in time to see them trying to pump
Yeah.
life back into your father, you know, as he was like hanging off the stretcher. And, you know, my biggest pride is carrying his name, you know,
Mhm.
him going after, you know, Woodsy, God rest his soul, dead of an overdose, making 6 figures down Longshore.
Yeah.
You know, Stearnsy was another one whose house I was at when they, you know, when they were doing the interviews leading up to, you know, my arrest with that charge. But yeah, I mean, I sit back, I think about the fact that, you know, not only was Janice left with now losing a child, but then your sister, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
Jessica.
Yeah, they were close.
Losing Bridget, you know, your mother losing Jessica, your sister, and Janice, you know, myself.
And
It's-
she lost another child, and Melanie.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
that's right.
So my mother's fucking literally got skin tougher than leather.
You
She's
think?
dealt with fucking so much. She is a trooper. For anyone out there that knows my mother or doesn't know my mother, she's just been through the, as far as trauma goes, she's been through it. You know, she's
Big
lost
time.
a daughter, a granddaughter that was like a daughter, and 2 daughters. She's lost 2 daughters. One was a breached. My sister Melanie was breached and died. I think 4 or 5 days after birth. But when you carry which a friend of mine, just happened to a friend of mine, doesn't matter what his name is, people know that people know. And I've been there for him, and he's just been saying to me how grateful he is, and this is just what a little support does, and that his family hasn't really been there, and how grateful he is. Just some text, you know what I mean, saying, listen, I'm there, so you don't have to look at the baby's clothes, throw them away by yourself, because it's traumatizing having to do that after you expected for this. He said it to me, I expected this my son to outlive me, and here I am planning his services, and you know, all I do is just text him every day, how are you, how you doing, I'm there for you, even if we got to bring our kids there, me and Lorraine will be there for her, and I'm there for you. And that goes a long friggin' way. People don't understand how easy support, and that it's free. And you know, losing a baby that your baby's mother, or that you expected to, you bought a crib for, and you bought clothes for, and expected to live, you know, and losing that is tough. I can only imagine, you know. So
Yeah, it leaves a hole in your heart that you can't even begin to imagine. And you know, I remember being in AA, you know, and I'm almost 15 years sober now, and I used to hear people say, they'd talk about losing a kid, you know, and I'd say to myself, well, it sucks me and you, until eventually it sucked me and me when I
Yeah.
lost my own, you know. I mean, I can only imagine for mothers, you know, Michael's mother, Lisa, I mean, she's still a shit show, you know.
Yeah.
All these years later, it's been 10 years.
yeah, and it is different. It is and I've never experienced losing a kid, but I know, because I have a child and I'm there every day, the bond between the person that carries that child for
Exactly.
9 months,
Yeah.
and the father and the child is just different. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
No matter what you want to
Yeah.
do or say about it, it's
Yeah,
just,
no, it's hard for the mother, I get it.
you know, not to compare, but it's
Right.
just mothers.
There is no
just,
comparison,
you know.
yeah. I would think it's obviously a lot harder for a mother. But yeah, lo and behold, after fucking, 5 months after losing
Bridget.
Michael, with me, when I lost Michael, 5 months after that, Jimmy,
Jimmy,
you know,
yeah.
I want to say it was a suicidal overdose, an intentional suicidal overdose. You know, I remember.
No one's ever even told me what the hell happened.
Yeah, he was just having a hard time. You know, truth be told, he crippled from a couple of strokes. It began with pulmonary embolisms,
Right.
led to a stroke. When he had the stroke, he just didn't want to look up to people. He goes, I'm not allowing people to wipe my ass, and he
Right.
just didn't want to live that way.
So those had a blood clot. He had a blood
Yeah,
clot.
yeah. He had blood clots. He had all of it, the poor prick. And he just said, you know, I am not looking up to people. I'm not, you know, people aren't
I
wiping
mean,
my
that's,
ass.
I understand, especially when you got a wife that has to do it for a daughter
Yeah.
of yours that already has to be taken care
Yeah,
of.
yeah, his own daughter.
So,
right.
I
And
can,
this was just a few months prior to him walking his daughter down the aisle, his other daughter down the
Right.
aisle.
mm,
You know, I want to say the same hospital that he had, you know, have taken too much meds in, gave him that same big bag of meds, and it was enough to get it with his cane. And I truly believe that, like, you know, he took himself out. You know, so intentional.
yeah, just wanted to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, I could. I get it. I guess. you
Well,
know.
we had just did an event for like Kevin, I think, and he had mentioned it. So, you know, obviously I have to believe. I don't like to say it. I don't want to believe. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
who
yeah.
wants to admit that,
Right.
like, you know, a family member, especially your own brother.
But
may have
also,
done
who
that
wants to
himself.
who wants to have somebody have to take care of them for the rest of their life?
Right.
You know, for
It's-
whatever they have left, especially like we mentioned, when you have a daughter that has to be taken care of the same way. So
Yeah,
I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, of course it
it's
is.
tough. I would sit there and think a lot about you, think a lot about these things when I was in prison, when Kevin passed, when Jimmy passed,
And there's another one.
when Michael passed.
Yeah, crazy. Kevin went obviously 2 months after Jimmy, so obviously in the span of 8 months, an 8 month span of time, there's my son, my two brothers, Jimmy and Kevin, my only two siblings. No one made in my family, immediate family, made it past 52 years old. But
Yeah.
what was I going to say? Here, look at Kevin. Kevin spent over 20 years
I
in
know.
the can, get out, had himself a boat, ran
Did
truck.
great, yeah. I remember
Killed
he saved
by-
all that money. He got the Chrysler,
Yeah.
because it looked like a futuristic car at the time.
He ended up getting a Lincoln Navigator or something too.
After that, yeah.
Yeah.
But when he got out, I was just not in good shape. I remember,
Yeah.
and I just felt like I can't believe when he went away. I was a kid, and he got out, and I was just
Yeah, he became an illegal paralegal. He got his
Yeah, he did.
bachelor's while he was in. He got his master's while he was out. You know.
he helped
Sharp
me.
kid.
He helped me with when my first daughter, I was in. I think I was in Walpole at the time. They were trying to change her name just to do it. No reason. They said it was something about school, and she was asking questions about her last name.
Yeah.
And she was only in first grade. She was too young to be doing that. Young Paul just wanted her name to be Holly. And he filed all the paperwork and all that shit for me. And I went into court ready, you know what I mean? And they still got it changed because legally So we come to an agreement where her name would be not hyphenated, but her middle name would be Ahern. And that's the agreement we came to. Because I'm like, well, what I'll do is keep making you come to court and keep losing, time and keep having to pay a lawyer. I could do that. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I don't want to do that. And I mean, because I was in DDU at the time, I think.
Yeah.
So it was just a trip for me.
Huh.
Do you know what I'm saying? But I didn't want to do that. Like, I didn't want to be petty.
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I've never done that when it came to my daughter. I never tried to come around her when I was using.
Mm-hmm.
I only tried to come out and see her when I was doing the right thing. And it was never a problem until me and Lorraine got back together. Then it became a major problem, which I don't like. And we're still estranged. And she's still estranged from Lorraine, who's been sober 11 years.
But you could see why a little bit. Some people just don't understand it. Some people don't understand addiction, mental health. I mean, It's hard.
And this is why I try to bring.
This is why you try to do this. I know
Yeah, I
that.
try
That's
to
why I'm
bring
so proud of
awareness.
you.
Yeah, I try to bring awareness, and this is something important. And I don't think some people understand that, and I really try to.
Of course they do. Why do you
try
think
to,
they're watching it? Why do you think you're building?
No,
your
I'm saying
subscription?
there's people that do. There's a lot of people that do, but there's some people that don't. They don't see why.
Yeah.
I keep.
I see some people that don't know you, John, don't know your goal, like what you're at here.
I keep sharing it. Like for instance, my last episode. My last episode was
fucking incredible.
Was great, and I know it was because I get the feedback. That's mostly unsolicited. I don't ask people, hey, what do you think about that? Most people just tell me, hey, that was great. And Marty is a very private person. So for him to do that interview is kind of what makes that interview so special.
No doubt.
So it's got the least engagement out of every episode, and that's
probably because it was broken down. You know, you had to do it.
That's why. But still, I can't accept that. Do you know what I mean?
And that's why you have to do another one.
So I keep pushing it out, and I'm going to keep sharing it and keep sharing it every fucking day.
But listen,
until it gets the engagement it deserves.
Don't be a flea.
Yeah, I know my limit.
Yeah.
I know my limit. But I will say this, and this is important. My inbox has been getting some attention. A doctor just reached out to me, an addiction doctor. He's based out of San Antonio. His name's Rob Kelly. He's a British guy, but I guess he is kind of in the addiction community, kind of world-renowned.
Yeah.
In his employment, Jenny McCarthy and Tony Robbins work for him.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah. So he's coming on the show next week.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It'll be a virtual show, but his media coordinator reached out to me and asked if he can come on the show.
That's insane.
Yeah. So that's the stuff that is really going to grow. Hard Time Real Talk. Collaborative efforts and people reaching out and me getting access to a wider audience of people that watch stuff like this, because YouTube isn't pushing it out to the type of audience that watches this stuff. That episode I put out with the kid Mort Beasy, it's just getting crazy views. It's up to almost 5,000 views. It's just shot up in the past couple days. It just went from like 2,000 to 5,000, but it's not getting any engagement. So they're getting it views because it got so many hypes. It was up to the 30-second hyped video in the United States. So it got over 150 hypes from my followers.
See, I only understand that when you explain it to me like you did just now. But John, I know what you're up to. I know you're doing a great job at this, and I know how important it is to you.
But that's the goal, right? Is to get it to the wider audience. I'm almost obsessed with it, because I know that once more people see it, it's gonna grow. Do you know what I mean? I'm not content with Hard Time Real Talk just being seen from the people that I know.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Ultimately, there's a goal here, though. There's an end game with this.
100%.
You always have like a
100%.
solution, and we're here to talk about, even in my situation. I mean, I do run a great group in the neighborhood. I am a recovery coach, so I do work in the field.
Let's hear about that.
Well, I mean, I haven't been able to do much,
Right, obviously, but I want to hear about what you've done in sobriety. That's what we like to talk about.
But the first person that I worked with was Oni B. I guess I could say that. I'm sure you know who that is.
Oh, yeah. Fucking love
this kid used to, some of you might be able to figure him out.
Great dancer.
Yeah,
great
he
dancer.
Actually did.
We ended up in Baltimore, just real quick, sorry. We ended up down in Baltimore together at a fucking club.
Yeah.
And he started breakdancing and shit. It was one of the funniest
nights
I ever had.
He won a fucking...
Yes, I know.
The next comedy show, like a amateur night or something too. But this kid used to wake up behind the dumpster at fucking Food Master, Johnny's Food Master, and I used to feel horrible for him, so I'd drag him home, you know, maybe make him a fried egg sandwich, let him know what it felt like to sleep in a warm bed or a couch or whatever. I wouldn't want to fucking sleep in that bed, but there are times like when I bring him to the movies, even though he was like hammered, I, you know, get him off E with $4 and let him get himself a jug of Thompson Square Liquors or whatever. What was his favorite out of fucking carrots? Oh no, celery and that shit.
Oh, the tomato.
There's like a dip that he puts in. It's a weird fucking Spanish people like it. Shit. I forget the name of it.
No, that's what they put in the Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, it felt good. It felt good to help. It felt good to give back, you know, and still, I mean, to this day, you know, there are people that I've just looked up to around this town. And matter of fact, they're your past guests, like Shannon Lundeen, you know.
Yeah. Shannon's huge in this town, and I try to highlight how important she is to my neighborhood.
Yeah.
With even the person I just named. I reached out to her, got them in touch with each other. She reached out to the Myra Craft organization and got the funding, so they didn't have to worry about paying for that, for the burial for their child.
Okay.
So that's how important she is.
Yeah, and that's why it was
It's
an
amazing.
no-brainer to
It's
get her
amazing.
on
Yeah.
the way you did. You got her on as
Had
soon
to.
as you did.
You had to.
You
She
know.
was one of the first people I thought
And
of.
she was awesome, and that's when, you know, I knew this wasn't, and this isn't a game to you, John. I know what you're up to here, you know, and it's amazing, you know, and people deserve to. That's why, like I said, if I can support in any way, I will, you know.
Yeah, and you do, and I highlighted that as one of my only family members that do.
Yeah.
Jennifer will try to here and there, but she just gets caught in her own world.
Yeah.
You know.
Well,
But
it's important.
But then she will.
Huh.
She will. She signed up for membership, and she does. She tries.
You know, it's important. I mean, I'm a part of, like, you know, what you're working on, you know, what you're centering around.
And Janice would if she knew how.
Yeah, no, I know
just
she
does.
would.
She just doesn't.
She should actually be a good guest herself, you know. I could see her, the poor woman. I was thinking of her chewing her knuckles when she was so mad at us last week,
Jesus.
couple of weeks. I love you, Jan. I know you're
Janice,
going
we
to end
love
up
you if
watching
you're
this.
watching. We do.
She will be.
We're so sorry. We are.
Yeah, you know, it doesn't mean we don't love each other. But, you know, so yeah, I mean, obviously I'm a part of the trauma team. You know most of the people. You know, we're starting another one with Elaine Donovan. She was one of the original members of it, but
She's good. She does a lot around the town too.
Crystal Gal. There's going to be a handful of us that are getting together and starting a new one since MGH isn't covering it anymore.
Yeah,
They're
losing
going down a
funding.
different path.
Losing funding.
Yeah.
We know
So,
where that
but we got the
funding's going.
funding.
We know where the funding's going. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah. Diabetes and all that causes it. Stress is the gateway drug. Trauma is the gateway drug. You know. And so as part of the trauma team, we'll deal with mostly overdoses, but it could be fires, it could be shootings, any trauma that takes place in this city of Charlestown.
The bottom line is, like, you're gonna lose. Like, this is not a game. It's a losing. We go on Facebook and it's like just to find out more people die, and throughout the last 25-30 years, the amount of people in this 1 square mile that have died in one form or another that are tied into drugs it's been a whole generation. A whole generation has been wiped out.
Just talk about one of our episodes when your sister Jessica died, like 6 people. Was it around 6 people?
Yes,
within
that had to be like a certain
cluster of block.
Yes, and that was around
batch.
the time between 2022 and 2024 when the border was open. So just anything was coming over.
Yeah.
Not only that, Jimmy Garvey died within 10 days. Jimmy Murphy died. Those are 2 of my closest friends. Kavinsky died, and Paul Woods died. And what's his face? Brian Hingston died of cancer.
Yeah.
So it was 6 people. 6 people died within like 2 or 3 weeks of each other. 1 was to cancer, 5 was to overdoses. But
Crazy.
it was all people that I knew very well in my
Yeah.
own way. Paul
Yeah.
Woods I knew very well. His mother came and gave me one of those, not only the prayer card, but those cards that Shannon was making.
Yeah, Mary Beth, she's a sweetheart.
Kavinsky, my first adult case was with him. I ran around with him, and I had my own close personal relationship with him. And then Gavi, I grew up with from diapers, and Jimmy Murphy.
John.
Me and him became very close
Yeah.
in the joint, and it become one of my best friends. So losing Jimmy, I still can't believe. It's still hard coming to terms with.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy.
With Jimmy being gone, and people have suggested I do an episode, and that's a good idea to pay tribute to what a human being he was.
Yeah, it was.
And I'm trying to think of ways to do that, to get on multiple people that were close with him, and,
Yeah, you could do that.
and to speak about him, and just how in all the years I knew him, from I would say age 4, age 5 to he passed away 2 years ago. 2 years ago it was 2023. So he lived till he was 42. So almost 40 years, 38 years. I never heard him speak a bad word about somebody. I never heard him once in his life talk shit about somebody. And that's just, in this world, when you're in prison and you get high, like, to never have a bad word to say about anybody,
Yeah.
it's very hard. Do you know what I mean? For him to just go through life that way, and to just be just such a good human being. It's just anybody that was close with him to lose him.
Of course.
And I know his mother, like, it sucks because she really doesn't talk to the rest of the kids, and that was really all she had. And I just feel so bad for Denise.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
I would still talk to her here and there. I haven't messaged her in a while, and that reminds me, I know I said one of the last episodes I was going to. I'm not sure if I have her. Since I've got this account on Instagram, I don't know if I have her Instagram on there. I have to check. But when I had my old one, because I had so many, and Meta disabled them all, so I'm not 100% if I still have it. But I'm gonna have to find a way. Yeah, or to find a way to get in touch with her.
Yeah.
But because, you know, it's just a way to support her and support him by still maintaining contact
course,
with
yeah.
her, because that is something that I know he would want. You know, just because people are gone doesn't mean.
And you know he's real proud he would be of you.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Jackie. Look at your first guest.
Yeah.
You know the relationship that you
Mhm.
and him had. You know,
Yeah.
I still think about that first episode down there when
And we shot. That was the 3rd time we shot. Oh,
Shut
yeah. And that never
Shut
would
the
have
fuck
happened
up.
if we didn't have
No.
to shoot the 3 times.
the look on Jackie's face. You know,
Jackie's
he's
whole
horrified.
life.
Yeah.
And you know, he sat there and tried to tell me he wasn't scared. And
He was shocked.
I've had 20 people come up to me, Jack, and tell me that your face made them fucking belly laugh, because you were fucking shook.
Love you to death, Jack, but you were a little
You were shook.
rattled.
I'm sorry. You saw your whole pot shop
That was funny.
going up in smoke.
But look at
No pun intended.
yeah. Look at what I mean, look at how much because normally somebody would have gotten doinked.
Yeah.
You know, if this was you
Yeah.
fucking 5 years ago.
Yeah, I had some restraint. What people don't know, right, is I've had idiots. I put that reel out. There was a reason I put the reel out, right, for the people that don't know me, like, to just get an idea of me. But
We
for
already know this about you.
yes, for the people that don't know me, to get an idea of, like, this is like where I can go. But for the people that know me, to know that there was still some restraint there. There was still some restraint there, because
Especially with the kid look,
Going,
fuck you looking.
like, honestly, if you went back 10 years, it wouldn't have been. It probably Yeah, it probably would have got ugly, to be honest with you. There wouldn't have been no real. It just would have been like a broken camera off someone's face. Do you know what I mean? Because the dude had like the nerve to fucking try to grill me.
But then you wouldn't be doing
Yeah, I
a
wouldn't
podcast
exactly.
and everything
This,
like doing
this,
now, and it
this-
shows the growth in you.
Yeah.
Because you would have fucking stabbed him. It was 5 years, not 10 years ago.
Yeah, I don't carry knives no more because I know that I still have anger. I do the car things, and you see, I'll have some road rage here and there. But I just fucking yell at people because I get angry. I'm not cured. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not cured by any means. I'm still an angry person. But I do stuff like this, and it's therapy for me. It's therapy for me. I talk about my shit. I air my shit out. I talk to so many people on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. I spend hours a day responding to messages and trying to be there for people, supporting people,
Yeah.
and it helps me. Do you know what I mean? And in turn, I'll say, yeah, well, I have this going on, and that will, talk me down, and it's
Right,
how
right.
I stay sane. Do you
And
know
that's
what
what
I
it's
mean?
all about. I mean, time, obviously, the older you get, the fucking less you realize how little importance some things
Yes,
are.
yes,
Yeah.
And that you don't want to spend any more time in a box.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When I get out, I've said this, I don't know if I've said this on the podcast, but when I get out in 2017, I was 36, and I'd had half my life in prison
Yeah.
at that. And I was like, sitting on 2 strikes with, Randy Johnson up to bat, because all it took was just me going right back out there, and if that happens, I'm going to make the wrong decision.
Yeah.
But I kept going to treatment. I'd pick up and I'd just go to treatment the next day instead of just
Yeah.
keep going, because I knew, like, I didn't want to do it. I had
Stupidest fucking things, John.
because I do the stupidest things.
Yeah.
And I had probation hanging over me, and I ended up making it to 1 month left on that probation, and I violated it, and I got a year in South Bay because I almost wrapped that probation up, so they only gave me a year. And I got out after that year, and I haven't I used after that, because I had a bed in the Meridian House. Do you remember that? You helped me get a bed in the Meridian House.
Yeah.
But this is what they did, and this is what they said. I had the intake person wasn't in. You had to go on a Tuesday or Thursday, and it was a Tuesday or Thursday. It was a Thursday or something. But they try to send me to. On that day, that's when they said it. Oh, the intake person ain't here. You gotta go. You need to go to a holding. And I'm like, what do you mean? I just got released. I can't get a bed in a hole. What? You can't tell me that day.
No shit.
So, that was it. I couldn't get a bed in a Holden that day. I went to Pat's. I tried, and I lost my bed at the Meridian House because I went and slept in my house that night. And they said, like, whatever I was, I had to go to the back of the list or something. And I'm like, fuck that. So I went on like a tear of a meth run for like a week, and then I ended up in ad care, like all fucked up. Like I had stitches in my head. I had no idea what happened, and I was just like, no, that was it. That was the last time I fucked.
What
that
did
was,
happen?
I had no idea.
Really?
No idea. I got hit with a bat. I know that
Yeah.
because I told somebody that. That's how I had the stitches in my head. But even somebody,
It's fucking crazy. You don't even remember.
somebody
Blackout.
commented to me on one of the podcasts I was on. I don't know if you remember me. You were in bad shape. You were in bad care with you in 2020. So he was there with me then. Obviously I don't remember him. I don't even remember being there. But I went from there to wherever I went. I ended up in Brockton, where you get sections, but I wasn't sectioned.
Okay. Yeah.
High Point.
High Point. Yeah.
I stayed there for a couple months, went to the Gavin House, completed the Gavin House, and that was it. It's over since. I went to live with with Moraine, and we were in Medford. We had JJ eventually.
Yeah, and now you're
And,
fucking killing it. I'm proud of this, John. I'll tell
this
you.
was, I went on the kid, Bobby Lucas's podcast
I love someone.
once. Yeah.
I like
and
Maddie.
and that was it.
Maddie's is good.
That was what gave me the bug.
Yeah,
Was
that's how you got hooked.
yeah, was going on his podcast.
Yeah.
And since it's what gave me the podcast.
Yeah.
And since it's what gave me the hi.
In a cell, what's it like when you're trying to get mail? What's it like when you're trying to make bail? When you're getting no help and you're living in hell? Yeah. Your mind's on a loop, your stomach's on pause. Dreams of a key, but you're stuck with the bars. A prayer, a scream,